All right, welcome to another episode of Behind the Visual, a podcast where I interview all the people responsible for creating all those images and videos you see out in your world every single day. I am your host, lifestyle and advertising photographer Mark Hansen, and today my guest is Lauren Padilla. And Lauren is the Senior Account Director at Blue Sea Advertising, a branding, marketing, and design company with clients such as Monster Energy, JBL, Toyota, Acura, and many more. And if Blue Sea sounds familiar to you guys is because earlier, one of the earlier podcasts, we interviewed Eric Morley, who is one of the co-founders of Blue Sea. So hang on, listen to Laura tell you all about what it means to be an account director and some cool stories about robots. So here we go. Well, I appreciate you doing it. Yeah, Eric recommended you, so you can blame it on him.
Okay. Awesome.
So it's all his fault. But
yeah.
So how are you guys doing right now?
We're doing okay, actually. So I think in the beginning it was a big adjustment for us as an agency. We're a little bit smaller of an agency. We have 12 people, and I think working from home was just kind of it took a little bit of time to adjust and get used to, but we have such a great team, and we do a Zoom meeting every morning, get a status, we check in with each other, and we go through the list for the day. I just think when you're so used to working face to face with people that all of a sudden going home and working remotely is just very different. But we've got the hang of it now, and we're doing okay. We've seen, obviously business changed a little bit. A lot of our clients that were doing big initiatives halted them for a while.
Yeah.
But we have continued to do a lot of business. We did a lot of COVID-19 response in the beginning for a lot of our clients. So it felt good to be able to help them out and be able to respond to their customers.
I saw Eric had posted something where you guys were putting out, was it masks and $5 gift cards or something yesterday? I think it was.
Yeah, we did that yesterday. Eric had about 50 masks made, and Wahoo's is a client of ours. So we gave away a free mask and a $5 gift card just to, promote that Wahoo's is still open, and we're encouraging people to get takeout food there. They do a very good job at making sure it's a clean and safe transaction when you order food. So we wanted to help them out and drive people to their restaurants.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So tell me how you got into all this whole thing. How did you become a senior account director? What leads you to that point in your life?
Well, I did not go to school for marketing or advertising. I went to school to be a teacher. So I was interning at a school in college, and I just really realized this wasn't for me. It wasn't my passion or my calling. I have so much respect for teachers, but it's just not my thing. So I then got an internship at MetLife, the insurance company, and I worked in their marketing department. And I worked for 3 of the top financial advisors there, and I did all their websites and their promotional materials, and I did a lot of cold calling at the time. And that's how I got into marketing. So when I graduated college, I worked for a small interactive agency in Irvine. And then from there, I moved to a bigger traditional agency for about 2 years. And it was a pretty cutthroat agency. So the blessing is that I learned more in 2 years than I probably would have in 8, because it was just, a lot of crazy deadlines and a lot of late nights. But, if you're passionate about something and you work hard, obviously will succeed. So I worked there for about 2 years. And then I met Eric, the owner of Blue Sea, through a mutual friend and mentor of mine. And I got the job there, and I've been there for almost 7 years now. And I think one of the most important things for me is just finding something you're really passionate about and that you love. I truly can say I love coming to work every day. I love all the different projects we get to work on. And my biggest thing is relationships. I love creating and strong relationships with clients and long-lasting relationships. So I think that that's something I've just really been able to be successful with throughout the years.
Seems the way Eric finds a lot of people is just through relationships. From when I talked to him before, he's talking about getting clients for, by going to kids parties and then meeting you and all that stuff. Yeah. So I think
exactly. And I think that's I've had clients from my last 2 agencies come work with me at this agency, because I just feel like if you have a strong relationship and bond with that client, then, they trust you. And if they trust you, then they'll want to do business with you.
Yeah, I think yeah. I totally agree, because I've had clients have me shoot stuff that I don't shoot, and it's because they just like me. They want to work with me some more.
Exactly.
What So tell everybody what exactly a senior art director does, what you're responsible for, how that kind of works from the beginning to end of a shoot, that kind of thing. So anybody who doesn't know will
Just
kind of get an
so just
understanding.
pertaining to a shoot in general.
No, just like your
Or
whole,
just
like, let's do it
anything.
all, like from,
Okay.
what you do daily
Yeah.
to the shoot to all of it.
Yeah. So really my biggest job is the overall, health and relationship of the account. So day-to-day contact with clients, ensuring that all of our relationships are in good standing, really coming up with strategy for clients. So strategic thinking, coming up with opportunities for clients, being able to focus on their business growth and their goals is really important. I manage everything from our campaigns to the goals and objectives, monitor budgets, make sure that, we're in line with budgets. Um, it's coming up with the research and analytics when they have, a big campaign they want to roll out. And so it's really just, day-to-day monitoring and being there for clients. I feel like more than anything, a lot of time they just want to pick up the phone and have someone to talk to, no matter what time of day it is. They want to bounce ideas off you, and they want your input and feedback. I never want to be someone that just picks up a phone call from a client and that just says, yes, yes, okay, we'll do that. But instead, like challenging each other back and forth and really providing that input, and that value, because they're coming to us for a reason, and they're coming to us because we are the experts. So just making sure that we always provide value to our clients is really important to me.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that would be a huge deal, especially to have somebody who will tell you you're wrong or tell you, I don't think that's the way you need to go or whatever. Because having somebody just tells you yes, I think could just run your company straight into the ground if you're having bad ideas constantly and not having great
Exactly.
ideas.
Yeah, and we need to. One thing too that's really important to me is staying up to date on current trends in the marketplace. Advertising and marketing is constantly changing, whether that's social media, web design, phone apps, what have you. So it's just making sure that you're always staying up to date. So we do a lot of further education within our agency. Right now has been a great opportunity while we're at home to take a lot of courses online, a lot of seminars and webinars, and just further educate ourselves on everything pertaining to our agency.
So how, as far as the social media stuff goes, how much of that is really kind of coming to the play for you guys at this point?
We do everything from strategic planning to the actual posting. We do all the ROI, all the analytics. We're constantly changing our strategy to see what's working, how to target, the current customer. So we do everything from like promoting posts to banner ads to sponsored posts. So really figuring out what works for our client. And, it's always important to find out who the exact target is, and how they receive information and what channels are they on, and are they on YouTube, or are they on Instagram or LinkedIn, and really altering and changing that message towards the different audiences on each of those channels is important.
How do you measure all that? Like, how do you measure what's working, what's not
Yeah,
working?
so we use a lot of different tools. So Sprout Social and Hootsuite are two tools that we like to use a lot when it comes to social media data and analytics, as well as newsletters. There we're able to track everything from open rates to impressions, engagement, how many people are liking, sharing, and posting, if we're getting good reactions from posts. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to figure out if what we're communicating and what we're promoting out there is, eventually turning these people into a fan, or it's getting them to go into a restaurant, or getting them to buy a product. So a lot of, trackable links to a website. And then once they're on the website, being able to track them there. So a lot of back-end portals that we use in order to track analytics.
So can you tell me how, when I'm texting somebody about or racing, I have a friend of mine who's a creative director out there in LA, and he does the virtual racing. And so we were texting back and forth, and he sent me a video of his setup. And the next thing I know, I have an ad the next day on Instagram for that. And I never even went on Instagram to talk about it. How's that happened? You guys, can you do that? Can you listen in on my phone and my conversations?
Yeah, well, that's like ad retargeting, and that's just a tool that a lot of people have been using to get potential customers to their website. So that's, I believe that's an Apple thing, and Facebook,
Yeah, I think you're right.
obviously, that's all them. So that's happened to me many times where I've been talking with someone about something that I've never looked up in my life, and I look on my phone an hour later on Instagram and I have a sponsored post for that product. So I know that the phones are listening. If you do turn off your microphone, that doesn't happen. But if you turn off your microphone, then a lot of other things are disabled on the phone.
Right.
So, you
I
know,
hadn't thought about that part. Turn off the mic.
yeah, if you turn
Yeah.
off your microphone, then it can't listen to you.
Because I saw some guy, he was giving a tutorial or a speech or something about
Mhm.
marketing and all this stuff. And he was saying, oh, they're not listening to your phones. I know you think they are, but they're not listening to what you're saying.
They
That's
are.
just backing up from like years of, they're taking all this information, then they're hitting you with this. Like, well, yeah, I don't believe that for a minute.
No, because there are things I talk about, I'll talk about, and literally 20 minutes later, it's on my phone.
Yeah, we had,
So,
I was talking to an assistant of mine about, they have those coffee mugs that look like photo lenses.
uh-huh.
Excuse me. And we were talking about it, and I was telling him how I shoot all Nikon. The only ones I've seen have been Canon. Anyway, I was like, I hate those things because they look to me like a lens, and I don't want to go over and go to pick up a lens and then find out it's just a
Hmm.
coffee cup. And I'd never looked it
Hmm.
up in my life. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Literally that night when I got home, it
Hmm.
was on my phone. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
It's
was
just,
freaky.
yeah, it's kind of weird to me. I think it's a little bit invasive. Uh, so I don't typically agree with it, but I know that a lot of marketers pay a lot of money nowadays to be able to do that. I do know that on your computer, if you clear your cookies or you use some sort of ad blocker, then you can avoid some of that. But on your phone, I don't think that there's any way to avoid it other than muting your microphone.
Yeah. And I'm noticing if
So,
you look up anything while I'm at home, I can't buy my wife anything without going into like private or search or whatever. So she doesn't show up on her Instagram when she's looking and go, oh,
yeah. Oh, this is what you're going to buy me.
yeah,
Yeah,
I see
exactly.
that now.
Yeah.
So when you guys are planning shoots or videos or whatever, how does that work for you from beginning to end? I mean, do
Sure.
you work with the art directors and the creative directors to come
Yeah.
up with these ideas and all that? Or how does that all happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is obviously a lot of the time, so say a client needs, they're promoting a new product of theirs. So we always recommend, we think a photo shoot and a video shoot would be great. We're all about content these days, all about video content, especially because of the way that it's received by people. There's so many high statistics that people are more willing to watch a short video than they are to read or just look at a static image on social media. So we always recommend short video snippets of content. We also recommend brand videos, and we recommend photo shoots because we think it's really important that our clients and customers have their own content to use. I think that stock photography and stock video can only go so far. You need to have your own um, images for your brand that you can
Well, I like
use.
hearing that as a photographer.
Yeah, that could be
I
in your
appreciate that.
library. So we
Yeah.
recommend that a lot. And then we just come up with the idea for the client. So we come up with everything from a script to a storyboard. And obviously our art director and creative directors are in on this. They're in on all the initial conversations with the client as well. And then from there, there's just a lot of planning. So we're really diligent about putting together a production book and casting the right models and making sure, we cover everything from wardrobe to catering to hair and makeup, styling. We have a storyboard that everybody has blessed and approved, and that's good to go. We have a script. Most of the time we farm out the VO as well. And so I feel like we've just really gotten it down over the years. I think that one of our biggest years we did probably 70 shoots in a
Wow.
year. So we did a lot. We were doing like 1 to 2 a week at one point. And with that, I will say we try to be so cost effective on everything, but you know this well, like shoots do cost money.
Yeah.
Um, we don't try to come in there and, be like Spielberg and say like, okay, we need this and this, but we do need to be fair and we do need to, charge the client a certain amount of money. But I know that nowadays with the iPhone, a lot of people are like, oh, well, can't we just go out and like shoot a few clips ourselves and put this together? But really it's about the story that you're going to tell, and being really cohesive with your brand. And that whole storytelling factor is something that we really try to hone in on and focus on.
So when we're doing these shoots and it's say stills and video, do you shoot that all at the same time or do you shoot it
No,
separately?
we shoot
How are you doing
separate.
that?
So say we'll shoot one scene. So we'll do video first. So we set up the whole scene and we do a take. We'll do about, like, just depends how many takes we need to do. Usually it's between 5
Right.
and 10 takes of video. And then what has to happen is everyone has to move out of the way. We have to change all the lighting. Then we do stills. So video shoots like that take a while just because you do video, photo, video, photo, video, photo. So we don't do it at the same time because you can't be taking photos with the flash going off and then shooting video at the same time. It just doesn't
Right.
work. Yeah.
Do you use the same, is the photographer the director as well, or is it
Uh,
usually, is that different, or is it,
Yeah,
yeah?
well, we have a few partners we use as well that are, we have a great partner of ours we've been working with for about 15 years now, and he will direct and shoot, and then we have a creative director and our director, and they shoot as well as direct. So they wear a lot of hats, and they're really smart when it comes to production and direction. And then also too, you always have, the client that has their own input and say on things, which I think is great. They have a vision as well, but for us, it's really combining our vision and their vision and kind of putting it together.
I think it's nice when you can do that. I've done some where I've shot and directed at the same time, and I did others where it was this one was a huge green screen thing where they had basically a treadmill going because they were supposed to be pushing these high-end baby strollers and all that, where I was hired just to shoot the photography part of it. So we had
Okay.
to match the lighting of everything they were doing on video. So we had to go in there and look at their video and what they were shooting, and then go in and set it up to match the lighting perfectly. So we had it set so it
Wow.
all looked exactly the same. And
Yeah.
they'd shoot the video, and then as soon as they finished that clip or whatever they were shooting, they'd send those actors over to us while they
Hmm.
were setting up for the next one or shooting the next one, and then we would shoot them doing the
Wow.
same
Yeah.
thing. It was a
Different
trip.
things. What do you typically shoot?
I'm mostly lifestyle advertising,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. It varies. I do some e-com for some department stores, and then I shoot for companies like clients have been Wrangler, Lowe's, Home
Okay.
Depot, that kind of thing.
Will the agency hire you, or does the brand hire you direct?
It varies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it goes to the agency, and then sometimes it's direct from the
Mhm.
brand. It just kind of depends on
Yeah.
their, I guess, the way they operate at the
Hmm.
time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
How
then
has it
sometimes it's been weird that I get hired by the agency, and then the brand drops the agency, and then they keep me.
been you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
How has it been right now for you? Like, are there any shoots going on or no?
Nah, right now everything I've had has been postponed
Yeah.
into June at the moment. So
Yeah.
maybe late May there might be some stuff picking up. I've heard rumors, but right now it's looking like sometime in June.
Yeah. We had a
So,
lot of shoots that have been postponed as well. Some just canceled because at this point they're like, we got to get our site up. We were waiting on photography and images for our website, but we can't sit around and wait till June. So a lot of things have just been canceled for now until further notice.
yeah, I've been hearing different rumors. Some people said, like that kind of things have been canceled. Other people said, they've been postponed, and that there's a lot of licensing going on right now. And then they think that when this is all over, there's going to be this just flood of need for photography and video from
I hope.
coming through. Me too. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess if you got the ad budget, you got the marketing budget, and I know most of the people I know said they got to spend it because if they don't, the next year they get it cut.
exactly. Yeah. So I do think the end of the year will be really busy. I think once we get over this like kind of hump of, everyone getting off, um, you know, quarantine and everybody's getting back into the swing of things and businesses, I don't think will be normal for a while,
Yeah,
but I do feel the same as you. I feel like brands will need to come out of the gate and be like, we're still here. We're here for you. This is what we're providing. This is what, we want to do for others. But I think the response from brands have been phenomenal during COVID-19. I don't know if you've seen any
Yeah.
videos, but I mean, just some pretty amazing ones have come out.
Yeah, I thought there've been some really good ones. It's rare that I've seen one that I look at occasionally, but it's rare that I see one that I look at and go, all right, come on. I
You
think
missed the
that's,
mark. Yeah.
yeah, you didn't hit it
Yeah.
at all here.
But I see a lot of people they're not trying to promote themselves. They're really just trying to be like, we've always been here for our customers and we will continue to, whatever we can do, and we did some e-blasts and newsletters and some flyers for some of our clients in response
Hmm.
to COVID-19. And you have to be very careful. Everything from the imagery you put on it to the branding and especially the messaging and how you word it. So that was a challenge we had in the beginning. Not a challenge, it was a great challenge that we were awarded with, but really it was a quick response for a lot of our clients so that they could put it out there.
Yeah, because I think you have to be careful. You can't
Mm-hmm.
make it sound like you're still trying to sell something,
Exactly.
especially to all these people who don't have a job anymore. And
Yeah.
they're trying to worried about that.
And you also can't do things for press, right now.
Yeah.
Like right now, so when we put together that initiative and we said, okay, let's give away, free masks and let's give away Wahoo's gift cards, it had nothing to do with, oh yeah, like let's, publish this and let's get it out there and let everyone know we're doing this. No, it was about the fact like we want to help people protect themselves. We want to provide masks. We have them and they're free. You don't have to pay for them. So come by and get one. It's kind of like we're here for you if you need us.
Yeah, I thought that was a great promotion because my first thought was, wow, first of all, you get free mask.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, you're getting a $5 gift card. So it helps you out with your budget if you don't have any
Exactly.
money or you have a lot less than you did before.
Yeah.
So you've got this $5 off food,
Mm-hmm.
plus you get a mask. And I mean, it
Exactly.
never once hit me as like, oh, this is just a pure, somebody's trying to take
No, and it
advantage of
was a really,
COVID-19 at all.
yeah, it was a really safe way. We put it in a bin. People came by individually one at a time and grabbed them. So I think that, that was helpful. We also sent out a Instagram, or we thought a lot about in the beginning when this all happened. It was the third week of March, and we were like, how can we respond? We need to be careful on what we say. Should we do a newsletter? Should we not? And we opted not to do a newsletter. Instead, we did a social media post, and it was really simple graphic, just said together, and the O in together was the Blue Sea logo. And then we wrote a post, and really what the post said was just that, whether it's about business or it's personal, like we're here for you. Send us a message, email us, call us, text us. Like if you want to chat, like we're here. And I feel like when I reached out to a lot of my clients, I never once have asked like, what's going on with this project? How are we on this? What's
Mm-hmm.
the status? I've been like, how are you? Like, how's your family? And I know a lot about my clients personally. So I, would ask like, how's your mom doing? Or how's your dad? I know that, they have this going on or that going on. And so many clients loved and appreciated hearing that. And they were just like, oh, and they really wanted to tell you about what was going on and how they were doing.
Yeah.
And that's to me what matters the most. Like, yes, it's great to do awesome brand work and architecture and branding and storytelling, messaging, all that's wonderful. But at the end of the day, we're all human and we all need to like create relationships with each other and create these bonds. So I genuinely cared about how everybody and their families were doing. So it's just kind of nice to hear that response and have people, get back to me and tell me how they were doing.
Which I think is great, and I've been doing some of the similar things. Contacting some clients and checking in just see how they're doing. I guess my biggest fear is that they're thinking I'm gonna. The whole reason I'm doing it is just to promote myself or whatever, and I'm really not because
No,
these
no,
people come into my head. I'm like, God, I wonder how they're doing, how they're handling all
yeah.
this, how's business going, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Because
I've just been, it really depends how you word it too. Like a lot
yeah,
of my emails, I was like, hi, I've just been thinking about you. You're on my mind. I want to make sure everything's okay. Like, let me know if you need to chat. We're here for you, that kind of thing. So making sure it's pretty genuine.
yeah, I don't mention any kind of, even when they ask me how it's going for me, I'm like, it's going great. I'm taking online classes,
Yeah.
to touch up my skills on video editing and
Uh-huh.
shooting or whatever.
Hmm.
And I just like, it's going to be good. We're all
Yeah,
doing well.
exactly.
So when you guys have these shoots, how do you decide on who's going to be the photographer or the director for this? Do you have like a stable of people that you go to, or
Yeah.
do you look
Well,
at new people?
Yeah, so everything is pretty much done in-house actually. So we
Yeah.
have 3 photographers. One's the creative director, one's our art director, one's a designer, and then we also have our production manager, and he's really highly skilled in drone and licensed as well. So most of the time it's in our internal team, but depending on budget and depending on what kind of shoot it is, then we reach out to our partner who I explained earlier. He's like been a partner of ours for 15 years. He's an amazing, well-known lifestyle photographer, and he will accompany us on a lot of shoots, but that's usually when we have our bigger production shoots, so like 1 to 3 day shoots, and the budget's a lot higher, so we're able to
Mhm.
hire him. Um, and so it just really depends what we're shooting. If it's like a 4 hour shoot during the day, we only have like one videographer and photographer go out there. So it really just depends the duration and what we're shooting, like I said.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Have you
Yeah,
noticed? I've noticed anyway. It seems like a lot of agencies are starting to just have that in-house photographer, photography studio, videography studio, whatever. And have you noticed that trend with you guys? I mean, obviously you guys have that, but have you noticed any kind of trend like that around out on the West Coast?
definitely. Yeah. I feel like a lot of clients, it matters to them that everything's done in-house, because I feel like you save more money that way. It's quicker, it's more efficient. We have a studio at Blue Sea that we use, so we have different backdrops. We shoot a lot of products in that studio, and I feel like it's just way more cost effective or cost efficient that way. And it's nice for them to hear that the same person that's going to be working on the storyboard and script is going to be the one at the very end cutting it and shooting it and providing you with B-roll. So I feel like it's really important for them to know that the people doing the work are actually really ingrained in the agency and know this client well and know what they're promoting.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me
Mhm.
completely. So tell me, give me a favorite shoot. What's a shoot you've done in the last few years, or just since you've started, actually, that you just stands out that you can think of as like being one of your most fun favorites, whatever.
Yeah, there's so many that we do. I think one of my favorite shoots, we do a lot of, and I don't know if I don't think I can mention the client
That's
here.
fine.
So we do a lot of shoots with one client of ours, and I think the reason why I like it so much is because I have such a close relationship with the client, and he really trusts us, and I trust them, and we focus on a lot of their. It's hard to say without giving it away. But basically, why I like it so much is him and I just get along, and we have the same vision, and we um, are just really good partners in this together. So the days go by fast, they're fun. We make light of it, but also at the same time, we make sure everything's getting done. Um, and maybe that wasn't the best example because I can't really say the client. So I'm trying to
Oh, that's
think of,
fine.
what was fun too is recently we did, and I won't mention the client here, but we did a really fun shoot where we did a Christmas in June. So we had to decorate an entire apartment complex with all these Christmas decorations, and we were actually doing a holiday campaign, and it was June or July. So that was kind of fun. We all got in the Christmas spirit. Everyone was wearing Santa hats and playing music, and it was just a really fun campaign we did for our clients. And I think it got everyone kind of, to have a good time and to laugh and just enjoy each other's company. So that was a fun shoot. We also do a ton of automotive shoots. So being able to see these vehicles that are not on the market yet, and say they're coming out in 2021, but we're able to see all the benefits and the features of these vehicles and the styling, and it's really cool. And we have to keep it under wraps, and it's kind of secretive. So I think that kind of brings some excitement and joy as well.
How
So
hard is that to do a shoot with a new vehicle and keep it under wraps? I mean, do you do any of it on location? And if you do, how do you keep from? Because you've seen these magazines where they see these obviously these dudes, hundreds of yards away with these extremely long lenses shooting through God knows what to get the shots of these cars on the test track and that kind of thing.
So we do that, and we do it for a client that I can't name, but we do it at a secret test track. It's about 3 hours away from here. That's very secure, and we have a huge crew that goes out there. It's usually a 3 to 4 day shoot. And it's literally in the middle of nowhere because it's a
Yeah.
secret test, it's a secret track. So, and it's really blazing hot and it's in the middle of the desert. And it's fun and it's under wraps. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's really cool for us. And then we come back and we are able to do all the voiceovers and, you run everything through legal, and the process is long. It's really long and there's so many approvals and so many eyes on this. But in order to see it come together and see the final product and then be there for the launch, I think it's just a really special and unique experience. And I think that's something that we like to pride ourselves on, is being, a part of that new launch for that company and the vehicle itself.
How much of your automotive stuff is digitally done? Do you do any
Um,
of the vehicle stuff in the computer, CGI, or is it all just
No,
shot
we don't.
live?
No, we don't typically do that. That's usually done by that's done internally or by like the main agency. A lot of these automotive brands we work with have a lot of different agencies, so we'll focus mainly on the videography, the photography, shooting the content, and then putting it together. But that is done more probably with their internal agency.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was just wondering. I was shooting a NASCAR driver a couple of years ago,
Uh-huh.
and we went to his office, his complex, or whatever, and his headquarters. And one of the guys I was dealing with over there was in his office, and I had to go ask him a question. So I went to his office, and we started talking. And I saw all these shots of these NASCAR cars up on his wall. And I was talking to him about them, and I said, "These are some cool shots. Who did these or whatever?" And he said, "Oh, I did them all." He said, "I did them all in my computer." He said, "None of that's real." So,
Yeah.
and it all looked real.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
But I
there's
thought
so
that
many
was
things
kind
you
of
can do
cool.
these days on your computer, which is amazing.
So, what is something you wish that clients knew, or that just the public knew about your job, that maybe they take for granted or don't really understand, do you think?
I think when it comes to budgets, mostly, I think that a lot of times clients don't really understand what it takes. They don't, and that's a lot of my job, unfortunately, is like fighting for kind of money and fighting for, a bigger budget, or telling a client like that's out of scope. And I think over the years, I've gotten a lot better at like how to reword that and how to say it in the right way. But it's an intimidating conversation, I think, when you talk about money. And I wish that clients just kind of understood that a little bit more, that like these things take time, they take money, they take a lot of thought and a lot of effort on our part. And I wish there wasn't so much pushback on budgeting.
How much of that is similar to being cost consultant? Is that because I mean, and the reason I ask is my experience with cost consultants is literally, can you drop your price?
Yeah.
I mean, and
Well,
that's all I ever get.
and a lot of time, I we have so many clients we've worked with for so many years. I know what the budgets are. I know
Mhm.
where we can come in at. I know it's too high, or what's too high for them. But sometimes I just give them the honest and raw, real budget and say, this is what it's going to take to do the shoot. And if they come back to me and say, like, okay, Lauren, we really need this done, but we can't pay this right now, I say, okay, well, what is your budget? It's X amount of dollars. So this is what we can give you: a 30-second spot, a 15-second cut down, and 5 still images, instead of doing, 20 still images and 3 videos. So really just making sure I work within their budget, and I'm giving them the deliverables that I feel is fair for our team and for the budget that was allotted to us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's good.
I always want to make sure I tell clients, like, we can do it for you. Like, what is your budget? I'm going to figure out a way to do it, but I might not be able to give you everything on your wish list that you want, but I can give you 3 out of the 6 things for this amount of money.
Yeah, that sounds very similar to what we end up doing over here too. Getting the
Yeah,
same kind of deal. It's like, well, everything you want, that's a little pricey for what you're willing to pay.
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, we can help you out.
And like,
So
I love, I love being able to do things really quickly for clients and turn things around really fast. But sometimes I wish clients understood a little bit more of the agency side. And I think that that's why it's so beneficial to work for an agency, is because you really get to see like what it takes to do all this stuff, and what the work entails.
how much have you seen change as far as timing on things in the last, say, 10 years or so?
Um,
And by that, I mean, I started out shooting film.
uh,
So when we would shoot, you do a shoot, and the client was hoping to get the film from you in usually 3 to 4 days, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. Now I have clients giving me hard drives going, can you dump all the raw files onto this and we're taking it with us? So
Exactly. Yeah.
it's
We
a
see a lot of
completely
that too.
different world.
Yeah, people want stuff right away now. I mean, we're actually doing a shoot tomorrow. But it's like only 3 people are going to be there. They're all going to be far away from each other. And we, told our videographer, we're like, don't forget to drive, because we always need to put all the footage on this drive and give it to the client right away so they have it. So yeah, I see the turnarounds are very quick. They're very fast, but that's something that is exciting to us. We like it. Like, we're like, oh yeah, like, we like the quick turnarounds and the quick deadlines, because it just kind of like fuels that fire in us, and we like to go really quickly, but still give quality work to our client.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that's important, but letting your clients know, like, that we can turn around things pretty fast is important, because that's the world that we live in. No one's waiting a month anymore to see a video. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. I like having a day or two if they can
Yeah,
give it
Dave.
to me.
Well,
So I can at least tweak the images before
yes.
I send
So
them
we
out
do
to them.
tell our clients that we're like, because sometimes we're like, oh, when do you need this by? They're like, today, or they're like, actually, they say yesterday.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times I say, okay, well, can you give us, until, Friday or Monday or something. So just try to buy a little bit more time.
Yeah, I like that. If they can give me just enough time to kind of go through and maybe pull out some of the stuff or
Uh-huh.
tweak it just a little, the color or whatever, just a little bit more. Even if I'm giving them the DNG files, so they can still work with it. But I kind of like to have a little bit of control. I guess that's just the control freak photographer part of me.
Yeah.
Don't want to just give
Yeah,
up everything.
exactly. Yeah.
So, last question:
Sure.
what is the strangest, most interesting thing that's happened to you since you've started this whole deal as an account director?
Oh my gosh. I mean, strangest thing. I don't know, really. I'm just trying to think back. Um, Nothing really strange, but sometimes clients just have, you know, not really abnormal requests. I mean, I guess it's not strange, but we've been able to do like a lot of really fun shoots with a lot of different and new products. So we got to do a lot of releases for Segway when they were creating their more personalized robot. So I thought that was really cool. We got to team up with Intel and Segway at a few of the consumer electronic shows a couple years ago. And we got to see how this robot like moves around the house and like responds to humans talking to them. And so I don't know, just something interesting like that was pretty cool. And to kind of see how the world is evolving and changing through an automated robot that rides around your house and that you can also get on. And it's like
Really,
one of those,
a segue thing?
self-moving, consumer electronic kind of devices. So
What did the robot do at your house?
what?
What could the robot do
You
for
could
you?
talk to it. Yeah, you could talk to it and say like, go into the living room and go grab this. So it would go into another room and it will look around, and it can't actually grab something, but another person in that room could place some like a bag of, goodies on it, or bag of groceries in one room, and then the person talks to it, and then it will come back and drop it off to the other person in the other room. Also, it would just show you video of, like, you could say like, who's at the front door, and it could show you video of that. It could show you video of like what was going on in the house when you went home, just all sorts of
Wow.
different kind of crazy things. So automated robots, that was kind of cool. And then I really can't think of anything. Like, there's been a whole bunch of things over the years that have been abnormal, if you will, but we just roll with it. I always think it's fun and interesting. If I've never heard of something before, I'm like, let's try it and see what happens. So I'm always up for an adventure.
Well, I like the robot story. That was pretty cool. I had
Yeah.
no clue that they were doing that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, Lauren, thank you so much.
Yes. Anything else I can do? I mean, I hope you're okay. You and your family are safe and healthy, and let's just all hope that, we get through this together.
Yeah, we're all good. We're staying home, and I hope you guys
Good.
are as well. And
Yeah.
hopefully this will be over with sooner than later.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I
Okay.
hope you have a great day. Let me know if you need anything
Thank you.
else.
I'll do it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.